Well, detectives and
Wendy Oo's career is over for good. Feds finally released all the details, and it just shows the extent to which Wendy and her husband went to scam. She is now looking at a long legal battle ahead, and it's safe to say that she messed up big time. And this is why being quiet sometimes is not something to be played with, because Wendy brought this problem on to herself when she went to Bravo and tried to make it sound like they were coming for an innocent black woman for no reason.
It's an unfortunate situation, and right now I can't say too much, but I will say when the time is right, I will share my story with everyone. And for now, they're just allegations, so we will continue to push forward.
The feds are saying that they have a foolproof case against her and that there's nothing she can say or do to get out of this one. And these insurance companies will go through hell and high water to prove that you tried to play with them. And get this, things have gotten so serious because Wendy has been trying to separate her case from her husband's, claiming that it doesn't do her any good to be charged along with him.
This season, well, the Wendy stuff happened after they were filming, but I'm just like, yeah, I've got questions. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
what's your biggest question for the Wendy situation?
Well, I first would want to hear what she has to say, and then I'll have my follow-up questions. Because and it's, you know what, it's crazy is that, like, nothing even personal towards Wendy. This would be like towards anyone.
This whole thing started back in April of last year when Wendy and her husband got back from their vacation in Jamaica and immediately called the cops, telling them that their home had been ransacked. They said that burglars carted away several designer bags and jewelry to the tune of $450,000 based on the statements they submitted to 2 insurance agencies. As soon as they said burglars had come into their home, the police started combing through every piece of evidence they could find, because the area where Wendy and her husband Eddie Ooh live isn't the place where crime typically happens.
Forgot that in April, your home was broken into or something? Was this during filming that this happened?
I think it was right before.
Okay.
Literally before camera went up. It happened because my family was away on spring break. It was our spring break trip with the kiddos. And I was just so heartbroken. Like, I think a few of my first initial scenes, I'm just a little bit uneasy because we had just been violated, so to speak. It was the worst thing. It's so unexpected, especially since from my vantage point and from the investigators' vantage point, it was targeted, Really? Yeah, because I've lived in this neighborhood for, a long time, but since the neighborhood has been in inception for over 20 years, there has been no burglary.
Yeah.
Like nothing.
But the more the cops dug into their story, the more they found out that there was nothing that was really matching up. It was only the bedroom that appeared to have been ransacked, and everywhere else was practically spotless. Even the window that the Opas claimed the burglars escaped through showed no signs of break-in or struggle. And the toilet that the burglars would have stepped on to make it out didn't have a single shoe or footprint. Then the couple had a home security system and rain camera that were activated before they left on their vacation. However, during their time away, no motion was detected inside the residence. There was some activity like package deliveries that were monitored remotely, but other than that, there was nothing. Now, does that sound like a home that had been broken into? Well, the cops didn't think so. And the whole thing looked like it was carefully orchestrated. And there were reports that some of the items that Wendy and her husband claimed to have been stolen were things that they had purchased and returned to stores years ago to get a refund. Some of those items had already been returned to the store for as far back as 2018. Now, Wendy might be smart, but she definitely is not street smart if she didn't think that all the way through.
She just messaged me a couple days ago. She's one of the the only ones who is like, I'm so proud. Well, what she said was, God has you covered, right? So I need a second because
I get it.
I opened my phone. I had no idea it was even going on, and I'm like, I'm shocked.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm very, very shocked because I felt Miss 4 Degrees had it together. Okay? I thought she had it together. I mean, I mean, isn't Eddie an attorney, for heaven's sakes? Like, what the excuse my language, can I not?
And the cops also brought up a picture of Wendy on the red carpet wearing the same ring that she claimed to have been stolen. Now, the cops couldn't put everything out there since they're building a case, but they did tell us that they found at least 15 of the same items they claimed were stolen sitting in their home. With the evidence in place, the police charged Wendy for fraud, including 7 counts for felony insurance fraud and 8 counts for conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. And her husband Eddie was hit with practically the same thing. Now, when it comes to the housewives of Bravo, it looks like every year we get at least one housewife caught with her hands in the cookie jar. But girl, no one expected the housewife for 2025 to be Wendy. With all the degrees that she has and with the way that she holds herself to such a high standard, baby, nobody saw this coming. And when the mugshots of her and her husband hit the internet, people went insane and they were thirsty for more information. Now, Wendy has always been someone who has something to say about every situation, both on and off camera. But this time around, it wasn't going to be any different. She immediately slammed the charges as false, claiming that their arrest was illegal and based on defective charges. Even at the recent BravoCon, she doubled down on it and said that even though she couldn't speak on it fully because of legal reasons, she really looks forward to sharing her story.
It's an unfortunate situation, and right now I can't say too much, but I will say when the time is right, I will share my story with everyone. And for now, they're just allegations, so we will continue to push forward. I know that's right.
The way she made it sound, it was like the cops were out hunting an innocent black woman and her family again. But the cops weren't here for Wendy trying to look like the victim in all of this. And if you thought what's already out there was bad, you won't believe what they just released. The police basically dug through Wendy's entire history, seizing everything from her emails to bank account information and even her Instagram accounts. It turns out that Wendy had a third Gmail account that doesn't have either her or her husband's names on it, and they were able to gain access to it through a warrant served on Google. Several luxury brands like Van Cleef, Louis Vuitton, Saks, and Ascot Diamonds were also contacted to find out what happened to the luxury products that Wendy and her husband had claimed were missing. Get a load of this. The two of them used at least 40 different credit cards under names like Pam Oliver and Eddie Hennessy as a way to mask their identities. Their bank records also show a pattern of excessive spending, which is highly relevant in support of the motive of this case. Now, it's always innocent until proven guilty, but Wendy might just pull a Jen Shaw and just deny until she can't deny no more, because if this was all a misunderstanding and illegal the way that she's claiming, why are Wendy and her husband seeking separate trials?
I said she's going to have her husband take the fall, and everybody was like, she should take the fall because he's the attorney, blah, 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 blah. I told him, I said, I understand what y'all saying, but he's the one that made the phone calls. He's the one that sent the email. They got a stronger case against her husband. More than likely, he's going to take the fall. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got small kids. One of them needs to be out of jail for their children. You know what I'm saying? And I just had a feeling and whatnot. And look, lo and behold, she is separating her trial from him, even though they both are being charged with the same, like mostly the same thing.
Now, it is a smart move to separate their cases to allow them to use different defense strategies that fit what they want to achieve. And at least that way, both of them can avoid going to prison at the same time because they have kids and a family to think about. But things don't look too good for the Othos right now. And the internet definitely has some opinions about it. So, you mean to tell me Wendy made fun of Giselle's purchased house and the other women's lack of designer goods only for her to be filing fraudulent insurance claims for money? Baby Wendy might be the brokest one on the cast. I can't believe this Wendy and Eddie nonsense. Facing felonies to create the illusion of a lifestyle. They never needed to do this. The only reason why this is such a big blow to Wendy to where she can't recover is because she put herself on the highest pedestal. But what do you all think about this? Sound off in the comments and make sure you hit that like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.